So we've looked at some basic brushes. Now I'm going to show you what makes up a brush and how that we can actually change a few attributes to actually change the way that the brush stroke actually even happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to direct you now to just a standard brush that I'm selecting here. And at the top left, you can see here, this is where we select our brushes also. But just below this, we've got the stroke type. Now the stroke type by default is on dots. If we change it to drag, it will drag an alpha shape onto the mesh, and I'll show you this in a minute. We've got the freehand, which gives you more of a smoother kind of stroke. We've got the colour spray, which not only can be used, and all of these used for painting, but they can be used for obviously adding detail to your mesh. So as an example, if we select the colour spray, and then we will choose the top of alpha, and these are the shapes that we can choose for our brush. Let's say this one here. You'll notice there that it's actually applying this. Let's just add a few more sub D levels. You can see there that it's quite intense, but it's applying it to multi-millions of polygons, and it's applying it very, very smoothly. There's absolutely zero lag. So this stroke type is working in conjunction with the top of alpha shape that we're working with. So as an example, if we used to pick this alpha here, alpha 58, we get different kind of effect on the surface, as opposed to something like maybe, I don't know, this star for instance. Different type of surface. Again, I can't really tell you how it feels other than what my experience is. You have to try this for yourself. But again, there's a kind of interactivity that I'm feeling between the Wacom tablet, the pressure that I'm putting on it, and the results that I'm seeing real time on the screen. It feels like I'm in total control, and it feels very, very fluid. There's zero lag at all on this. We're working with many millions of polygons here. You can subdivide this up and up and up according to your system specs, obviously, but I'm subdividing it again, and we're going into the, well, we're very, very high polygon count now, so we're at 36 million polygons. Still, there's absolutely no lag at all on there. And remember that I can quickly go down the sub D levels by holding the Shift and D key. I can go down them, and I can go back to my base mesh and start working on this. If I wanted to use my move tool at this point, I can just go in there and just change the volume. You see there, I'm just changing the way that the volume looks, and go back up to a higher sub D level, and I can continue working on my high polygon mesh, which is like 36 million polygons in this particular case. So that's the stroke type that I've talked about, and each of these brushes has got its own independent setup. So for instance, the Afflate, it will load its own type of stroke and alpha if it needs one. The clay, you can see here, it's using this type of stroke along with this type of alpha, and by changing the alpha, it's going to have a different feel to it. Of course, there's more to a brush than just this. This is just the very basics. If I was to go to the brush menu, we've got the different types of curves, the depths in which the brush is actually embedding into the surface, samples, elasticity, twist, orientation, service. We've got lots of options that we can use to create our own brush from scratch to react very uniquely to the tablet pressure of our pen. Of course, if you don't want to do that, it doesn't matter, because there's absolutely tons of brushes that are available within ZBrush directly from here. In ZBrush from the Lightbox, we've got folders, and within folders we've got many types of different brushes that you can select from, and the chances are is you're going to end up just using the very basics. So for instance, we've got these different types of polishes brushes here, and these are going to like flatten out the surface. And this is good if you're going to be working on organic geometry but want to create a hard surface look. Again, I'm working on 36 million polygons at this point. And that's really the basics of the brushes. You can see from this that you're going to be able to work in ZBrush very fluid, very quickly, and at no particular point has this mesh been altered in a state of what it actually originally came in as. It's still a polygon mesh. We can go back to the basis of where we started from, the sub-D level 1, and as I mentioned in an earlier video, we went and stored a morph target, and what this does is it enables you to return back to the original mesh that you brought in, but it won't get rid of your sculpting data. What it does at this particular point is it enables you to produce your normal maps, displacement maps, and it will look at the difference between the original base mesh and what you're going to be going to, of what the map has to produce. And I'll show you this process a little bit later on. What I'm going to be doing on the next video is I'm going to be going through sculpting a little bit on the Dynamesh, because that's working on very, very high polygon meshes, and then I'm going to show you how the retopology actually works to bring a Dynamesh into workable polygon geometry, i.e. lower polygon geometry.